Hey, everybody, this is Stan from the Momentum Podcast. I wanted to hop on real quick and talk about a question I get asked a lot when I speak to FinTech founders. And they ask me this one question all the time. What are we doing wrong? Why is it that we have such a great product? Our clients are extremely happy. They love us, but we're not getting barely any leads off of the website. There's no organic MQL, marketing qualified lead creation. There's no inbound demand. It's really salespeople that are going out and just dialing everybody that they know and trying to get a conversation. So I thought I'd put this little video together and maybe a blog post around it too, and I am going to talk about the 5 most common mistakes that I see people in fintech make that cost them leads every single day. So, how do I know about these mistakes? I made them. I made them all. So, when I was running research at Novus in 2014, about 12 years ago or so, we wrote our first piece. And this brings me to my number one mistake. The first mistake you are most likely making is thinking that one piece is going to bring in a massive amount of leads. And I call this mistake the one piece wonder. It just doesn't work. You put together a great piece, you put so much work and so much hope and dreams into it, and you're hoping that it's going to go viral and it's going to bring you massive amount of interest because you're talking about something pretty revolutionary in your view. And what happens is it's pretty quiet. One piece doesn't seem to do much. Maybe you get 50 or 100 downloads, but there's not this inbound influx of interest and demand that you've expected. This is very, very normal. It's just that the market is not used to seeing this type of content from you before. And in order to establish a lead generation engine, you have to almost become a content culture inside of your organization. You have to produce things on a consistent basis and really condition the market to expect some really good, insightful content from you. So mistake number one, no, one piece wonder is not going to do it for you. Mistake number two, you talk about you. You're talking about your product way, way, way too much. There's room for that, yes. But if that's your whole strategy on marketing is how great your product is, how awesome your team is, how awesome you are, that's going to fall flat on the market and it's not really going to resonate as much as if you were to talk about the target audience. What are their challenges? What are their problems? What are their workflows? What are their opportunities and goals? Really shift the conversation towards them. And I've seen that work tremendously. Number three, you're not paying attention to SEO, search engine optimization, and AEO, answer engine optimization. You're just not paying attention to it. This is something I knew very, very little about before I started really drinking out of the fire hose and learning everything I could about technical SEO, on-page SEO, off-page SEO. Those are really the three main SEO flavors, what have you. But yeah, real simple. You are not thinking about the types of questions that your prospects and your clients are asking. They're typing it into ChatGPT or typing it into Google. What are they asking? What are they searching for? It's very unlikely that it matches perfectly to the lingo and the language that you use to describe your own products. So fill that gap, create content that hits the keywords that your target customers are actively searching for. Also, there's one other really important thing about SEO is you got to do this big in-depth analysis, and you can use AI to do that. In fact, I can include a really nice prompt that I use for Claude, or you could do that in ChatGPT to go and do this really deep research analysis on all of your competitors and what they're doing well and where the keyword gaps are. Attack those keyword gaps first, and you're going to drive traffic to your website. Number four, most common mistake. There's no journey. So the most important thing you can think about when you're putting together a demand generation engine is you need to build a funnel. Who are the prospects that don't know anything about your brand, that have never heard of you before? They're not even ready to buy yet, right? They are just learning about what's out there. And then who already knows your brand, knows how you think, and then who is ready to be converted to a paying client. The type of content that you put out needs to be different for those three stages. Very, very important. You've got top of funnel content, blog posts, social, maybe even some cold emails. Some people don't like that. I'm okay with it. There's this whole tranche of content that you should be going very broad with, talking about high level ideas, high level challenges, high level topics. Then you've got the middle of the funnel, which is the engage or nurture phase, right? Really great content like white papers, really addressing the challenges, the best practices, all the things where you really want to engage with your prospect and really tell them what you're all about, how you think, and how they can solve their own problems. Um, this is super, super important. Really focus on them and tell them how you're thinking about their problems, not just how you're coming up with really cool products and stuff like that. How is it that you're helping folks like them? And then finally, the number five, and I save this one for the end because it's the easiest one to do. And it's the one I see everybody honestly miss, unless they're like phenomenal at marketing. Almost everybody in the fintech space, in B2B fintech, misses this one simple thing. You got no CTA. You've got no call to action at the end of your blog post, right? LinkedIn article, even emails, right? Emails, tell them what to do next. Reply to me with a question, hit this link, read more, download this white paper, see this case study. Make it easy for them to take the next step so you can nurture them and guide them down that funnel. Now, you might say, wait a minute, but isn't that asking them too much? You know, you talk about give them value without asking anything in return. Of course, yes, you want to provide them lots and lots of value, but you also want to help them take the next step. So make sure your CTA feels very natural, very organic. Create the itch and then give them the scratch, right? The CTA should feel like a relief. They really want to learn more. Oh, here's a big, beautiful call out, follow me or read this article to answer the question and relieve the tension that you've created with your initial content. You do those five things, you're going to be top 1%. If you need help getting it all done and thinking about all of that, reach out to me, stan@acadia.im. See you out there.